All right. Last time I left everybody on this, I think I was turning in a quest and getting another one because this fellow Roy Bean, he's got several jars of jelly beans that were stolen by a bunch of jelly bean bandits. Maybe it's just me, but jelly beans don't sound like much of a hobby. Maybe he's trying to collect one of every flavor. Okay. For those tuning in for the first time and wondering what the hell am I playing, this is it's a spin-off of a very popular browser game called Kingdom of Loathing. This is called West of Loathing. And one of the first things you can unlock is this thing called Stupid Walking. It's a nice little feature you can turn on just for the hell of it. I personally like it because, you know, how derp can you get? Crab walk your way to freedom and justice. Anyway. That is an awful large cactus. Wow, I heard they grow some big cactus out this way, but that's a blue ribbon winner if I ever saw one. Must be a place Roy Bean was talking about. I can't imagine he was talking about a different 4-story cactus. Alright. Is there anything off to the side? No, there is not. We will go inside. Oh, hey, we got goblins. Luckily, I can speak goblin. Hi, hi! No climbing for humans. I'm here for taking back a jar of jelly beans you goblin stealing. Oh, what? Jelly beans, little colorful sugar things. Oh, little bird rocks. Yeah, those. Those are for the pile. The what? Anyway, no upstairs for humans. Maybe we can trading? Not trading, but you can bribing me. Okay, what do you want? A candy bar. Good human candy bar. Of the bubbles having. You knowing it? You mean this? So he's wanting a bar of soap? Oh, yes, wonderful. Thank you. Can I climbing now? Sure. Awesome. Ooh, can I go in here? I believe I can. What's in here? There's a gash in the wall of the cactus here, revealing a vein of sticky purple goo. And here is a pile of goblin junk. Hello. No climbing for humans. Too bad. Can I bribing you to lay me climbing? Oh, okay. What you wanting? Cactus syrup. Delicious vein is being in the other room, but had losing my tap. Okay, I'm being right back. If you were to tap, where would you be in this pile of junk? Let's make a tap. You bolt a flange onto a pipe and add a couple of rusty widgets. It's not pretty, but it's a tap. You also find an empty jar in the pile, which will be handy. So we have a syrup tap. I will tap that. You plug the tap in the syrup vein and fill the jar with purple cactus syrup. Hello, having a syrups? Yes. Hooray! The guard guzzles the entire bottle in one long straw. It is both fascinating and disgusting. Needing more for proper bribing? Of course you are. This time the guard moves away from the ladder so they have plenty of room to guzzle the syrup. Excellent. Flasks, beakers, bottles, tubes, burners, and all the other equipment that makes a super elaborate alchemy table, including a whole bunch of different colored liquids and powders and stuff. Leave well enough alone. Why would I want to leave that alone? I would want to conjure something up. Maybe conjure up some meat. Hello, hi. Hi, can I? Nope. Okay, can I? Yep, bringing me goblin elixir. What's that? Potion of extra delicious being. So good. Alright, I'll get that then. Make goblin elixir. Well, it's easy for you to say. Look for some instructions. Scrap of paper and drawer looks like instructions for elixir, but it's all in goblin science jargon that you won't understand at all. Just start mixing things. Start with some blue liquid. You pour some blue liquid into the beaker, and then you add some indigo syrup, gray fluid, black juice. Indigo syrup. The mixture turns chartreuse and starts to steam a little. What next? Ooh, pink powder. Mixture turns purple and starts to steam even harder. Now what? Stir it up, shake it up, spit in it. You know what? Let's stir it. Mixture turns orange and starts to steam like crazy. You manage to pitch the concoction out the window and duck under the table just in time. It explodes with a tooth-rattling bang. Red powder. Brown slime. Mauve liquid. Spit in it. Whatever it is doesn't seem immediately life-threatening. Smells terrible though. Let's keep it. You pour the elixir into a proper flask. Who knows, maybe it isn't a deadly poison or anything. And folks, I'm just taking a stab at this. I ain't looking at a walkthrough. There's not very many walkthroughs available for this game, so why bother? Here is your elixir, probably. Is it good? Yes, perfect. Huh, cool. Ah, whew. Holy crap, if this wasn't the most disturbing thing you've ever seen. I don't want to know what this was. Hey, guys, those jelly beans. Can I too having them? What? Oh, what? Our fruit rocks. No. No, not taking our fruit rocks. These being ours, not for your taking. Jeez Louise. What's your plan for dealing with this horror? Let's go ahead and talk to it first. But not looking like you're eating them. The jar is still full. What? Eating? Fruit rock's not for eating. Fruit rock's just for looking at. You're just looking at them? Not fitting through floor hole. Can't. Leaving room. Fruit rock's only entertainment being. That's sad. How about teaching you something else for entertaining? Something better than fruit rocks looking at? Okay, sounding good. I agree. I'm not certain. What being better than fruit rocks looking at. 20 questions. You teach the goblins how to play 20 questions. And once you get them over the initial hurdle of a goblin being neither animal, vegetable, nor mineral, they pick it up pretty fast. Soon they're so focused on the game that they stop paying attention to you entirely. The goblin power too focused on their game and those who take control of it. It was a fair trade, so they're yours now anyway. You know what the hell with this? I'll just go straight to the map. Trot, 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 trot. Through the shimmering waves of heat, you see a massive pile of bones on the horizon, and veer ordinary horse toward it to investigate. Turns out to be even more massive pile of bones than you initially thought. Buffalo pile. We'll go there eventually. Wonderful. Good job, kid. Looks like they're all here, too. Goblins didn't eat any? It's a long and weird story. Well, never mind, man. You know, a swell job, kid. I've only got one more jar of jelly beans missing. They were stole by a gang of them hippies. Why'd they take them? Heck, who knows what the hippies thinking. All I know is they took off heading southeast and a little bit west. Shroom cave? Oh dear. So we're off to the Shroom Cave. Your travels are interrupted by a fairly disturbing sight. A skeleton covered with weird glowing mushrooms, just shambling toward you and making angry hissing sounds and weird gestures. Let's correct the spell casting. No, you're getting these gestures all wrong. You're not accounting for your arms being lighter than normal, so the momentum's all out of kilter. Yes? I'll demonstrate without actually casting the spell. Watch closely. You wave your arms in a complicated pattern, which the skeleton observes and then duplicates. The spell causes all the mushrooms to explode, blowing him apart. A mushroom-covered bone. Okay. Ooh, mushrooms. Keep clear of the ones with black spots. I guess black spots are a pretty good warning sign for things you shouldn't eat. Are they super poisonous? Pig threw up so hard he turned himself inside out. Someone lost a very dirty knapsack. Contains some loose bits of granola and some very, very dirty clothes. Okay, so we have ourselves a mushroom map. This map is labeled Shroom Locations and shows a weird, convoluted trail leading to a big X. You recognize the X as this very cave. The dotted line originates at a little picture of an army fort. It's probably worth investigating. The Fort of Darkness. The cultist is muttering and twitching in his sleep. Mushroom crumbs litter the floor around him. I will loot his belongings. You grab everything that isn't nailed to him. Skeleton bone, human ashes. Discipline slip. Looks like one of the Necromancer's cultists got ridden up. 2 more of these and he'll be ritually eviscerated. Nothing personal, just corporate policy. I keep thinking I'm missing something. You read over the infraction listed on the slip. Looks like one of the cultists was gathering dangerous mushrooms. Curious, you stick the slip into your journal. Yay, Wandering Sally. And you have nothing that I want. Oh. So I will just sell the stock certificate. Can't think of anything else that I really need. In terms of selling, anyway. I need gold with corn. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. A shot rings out and you duck just in time to avoid your hat being ruined. The skeleton is standing in the road ahead, arms akimbo, hands just over his holster ready for another quick draw. Oh, and he is literally on fire. I almost forgot to mention that. I will lay down some science facts. You might not be aware of this, but although bone does not burn into ash the way wood does, intense heat does cause it to get quite brittle. Skeleton goes for his gun, and the momentum of the quick draw causes the entire hand to pop off the wrist and sail through the air, landing with a plop at your feet. There, see? Told you. Skeleton runs away embarrassed. Red hot pistol. With this pistol, you'll have to be pretty quick on the draw just to avoid burning yourself. That's good to know. Sounds like some kind of weird chanting in there. Yep, not the typical military Hup 234. It don't sound like even Cold Hokum either. Yeah, the sitar music is a little bit puzzling. Okay. Which is truly better, the Rancher's pistol or the Red Hot pistol? Oh, that would have to be the Red Hot pistol. Have a little bit less moxie, but damage is damage. Damage! Alright, we're good to go. As long as I'm here, I may as well use my binoculars. Oh, nothing to use my binoculars with. Okay. This guy seems to be in a daze, looking around uncomprehendingly at the boots and cobbler's tools around. Hi there, these are some pretty cool boots you've made. Are they for sale? Huh? Oh, no. I mean, I'd like to sell them to you, but they aren't mine. You'd make them? It's funny how everyone assumes that, but no. These were all made by elves. Elves. Yeah, man. Like little elf guys. They're hard to see, just out of the corner of your eye, you know. But I've been kind of standing here and just kind of, and I'm like, oh hey, I got another pair of boots in my hands. Guess y'all's made some more boots. Huh. I haven't made a pair of boots myself in, I don't know, like a year? Years? Something. These elves keep making them though. I don't know why. Weird. Okay. You should open a boot store. Store. Sell your boots in. They're not mine. They're... Right, the elves. But the elves can't be making them just for fun, right? I think they're making them so you could sell them. Oh. Huh. Yeah, that makes sense. There's a town called Dirtwater. You could open a really nice shop there. That's a pretty long trip. Haha. But it'd be like dangerous. I'd be worried the elves wouldn't make it, you know? I'll let you know if I think of anything. You see any jelly beans? Jelly beans? Weird. No, I haven't seen anything like that. Ask the elves, maybe? I'll give that a shot. This young lady is dressed in fancy, expensive traveling clothes, though hardware has made them dirty and ragged. Also, her pupils are about the size of teacups. Wow, hi. A new face. My name's, one sec. Irene. Everyone here just calls me Mushrooms, so I forget sometimes. Howdy, Irene. I'm Reese. What's your story? Oh, not much to tell. I was hitchhiking to Frisco a couple months back. I stopped here and never got around to continuing. You know, we're like a big, happy family here. And everyone's so nice and appreciative of how I know so much about mushrooms. Mushrooms? Uh-huh. They're good for all kinds of things. If you know which ones to pick. If you want, I can sell you a few of my favorites. Oh, okay, cool. Would you like to buy a mushroom? This batch is extra groovy. See any jelly beans? Yeah. I had some jelly beans recently. Don't quite remember. Oh, they were in my lounge. Where's your lounge? I don't quite remember. It's only there part of the time anyway. Huh? I don't know. But God, she reminds me so much of this one guy I used to work with. He talked like he was stoned half the time. Hi, I'm Reese. Teeth, clavicle, femur, teeth. Wow, okay. Give her some gold teeth. She blinks at the gold teeth you handed her and takes a spool of wire out of her toolbox. Soon she presents you with an elaborate tiara. Not enough. Not nearly enough. Gold tooth tiara. Some bones. Hand her an armload of bones, and she starts mechanically picking through them, selecting some and discarding others based on criteria you can't discern. Eventually, having chosen the two best from the pile, she secures them together with wire and screws and hands you something that basically looks like a sword. So it looks like it would do a crap ton of damage, but it does spooky damage. I'll have to come back for some skull chips. You know anything about a lounge? Teeth, lumbar vertebra. Seen any jelly beans? Teeth, jawbone, teeth. I see. Hi, I'm Reese. Salutations, Reese. They call me the Talking Dude because of my extensive knowledge of the principles of philosophy and the arguments and conundrums surrounding the various aspects and interpretations. But that's not why they call you that. Can I interest you in a discussion of the particulars of Kirchian philosophy, Reese? See any jelly beans? Well, first we must take care not to define our terms. What does it mean to see jelly beans? And what if what I see as jelly beans are different than what you see as? Got the crap fart cut for you. No, I have not. But I do know that Irene, the newest and dare I say the most delightful of our little clan, is particularly fond of them. You might ask her. Do you know where Irene's lounge is? I have been there, but for some reason, I was never invited to return. Inexplicable. There we go. I knew I'd get it at least once. The Talking Dude begins and you immediately tune out. Blah 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 blah. On the other hand, blah 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 blah. Fascinating. Blah 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 blah. Therefore, discards is a terrible golfer. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah categorical imperative. Blah 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 blah. Yes, I agree. Blah blah blah. Therefore, Schopenhauer is a terrible golfer. Blah. Blah blah blah. Dispositional and occurrent belief. Blah 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 blah. On the other hand, blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. On the other hand, blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. Cartesian dualism. Blah 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 blah. Interesting. Blah 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 blah. But what is reality really? Blah blah blah. Categorical imperative. Blah 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 blah. Fake it, gasp. Your posture alone is enough to keep them talking. Blah 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 blah. But what is reality? Blah 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 blah. Unless you really believe Spinoza, in which case blah 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 blah. Your posture alone is enough to keep them talking. Blah blah. Cartesian dualism. Blah 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 blah. It actually seems like some of this is rubbing off on you. Kirchian philosopher. You're well versed in Kurtzian philosophy, or at least you're clever enough to pretend to be, Mr. Callum. This guy will rant on and on for hours. Hello. Hello, yes. Hello, yes. I'm Todd. Pleased to meet you. So what do you do around here, Todd? I'm a chemist. Been researching the properties of some of the local mushrooms. Properties like what? Like how they get you totally wrecked. Right. I'm kidding. They actually have a lot of interesting properties that could be a real boon to medicine. They may even hold a solution to many psychological disorders. That's pretty interesting. The fact that they also get you totally, absolutely smashed is just a happy side effect. I see. If you have a lactarius dirty hippie mushrooms, I can refine them into a more potable potion. I like the fact that they worked in the word hippie. I'm not interested in jelly beans unless they're that kind of jelly beans that get you totally blasted. I don't think it's a real thing. No, it is. I heard they got them in Frisco. It doesn't seem safe, for kids. So where's Irene's lounge? Oh yeah, I do. Don't tell the talking dude if you don't mind. But it's in that cave where we get all of our mushrooms. I ain't seen any lounge here. You gotta be. He jerks his thumb at the apparatus behind him and winks at you. Rocking back and forth, making as she rapidly flaps her lips with her fingers. So in order to properly read out the context, I actually have to do this little number. You seen any jelly beans? If I knew where there were jelly beans, don't you think I'd be there eating jelly beans instead of making these dumb noises? Fair point. Anything about a lounge? Well, I wouldn't give for a lounge. I mean, this couch is great, but if it was in a lounge, wow. Ask her what she's doing. Nothing really, just making dumb noises to entertain myself. It's kind of reminiscent of something, but I'm not sure what. This tall, muscular, bald man is leading his students in an aerobic workout routine. His voice is powerful, yet disconcertingly soft as he counts off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Excuse me, what's going on here? Exercise. You must strengthen the body. The body is weak, the mind cannot be strong. These two are one. Who are you? I'm Kurt. My methods will usher in a new age of power and will. Ooh, the surplus tent. What you got? Okay, trauma kit, bullet, canteen, chemical bullets, bunch of military manuals. They look complicated except for this one. Cannon loading for ill dirt. Oh, idiots, okay. I have to wonder if that was intentionally misspelled. Alright, let's read this book. Book about how to load a cannon written at reading level that is more or less equivalent to illiteracy. This book is so rudimentary that it's insulting to your intelligence, even though you know almost nothing about loading cannons. Oh dear. Do I have to be stoned to read this book? I have to wonder. I have to. It's all it's the only thought I have left. One of the drawers of this cabinet is open a crack. Check it out. There's only one file in the drawer, and it's a discharge record for a soldier who died from eating poisonous mushrooms. Last entry says she was buried in plot 420 of a military cemetery up north. You mark the location. Have any guns? Army issue sidearm. Alright, how well does that measure up to what I have now? Alright, I'll be there in a moment. I am being summoned. I'll take my little break in a moment. First off, I need to make a couple of comparisons here. See, I was using the Rancher pistol, which gives me +5 moxie. As much as I want to use the military sidearm, I'm going to have to use the one that I pulled out of the spittoon. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a short little break. You guys enjoy the music. Be right back. These are called Lactarius Dirtihipica, and they're very spiritual. Sometimes they'll let you see things that only exist in realms outside our own and stuff. Plus, they're super groovy and mellow. It's a pale mushroom covered with a powdery layer of spores and lit from within with a subtle glow. Opens your third eye halfway, increasing your mysticality by 23 for the rest of the day. Eat it. You eat the mushroom. Your eyes go all wonky. Well, two of them do. The third one is finally open, at least halfway. You ate a weird mushroom and you feel funny. Seems like maybe there's a tunnel here, but your eyes can't focus on it right. Like it's slightly out of phase with gravity or something crazy like that. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to come back. Wow, it's not a large pile. What the holy crap is that? That's the buffalo pile. I remember my grandpa talking about it. Basically, it's where the early settlers of the territory buried all their dead. Buried? Don't you mean haphazardly piled up? No, these are buffalo skeletons. People are buried inside the pile of buffalo skeletons, and it makes some kind of use for them, right? Tell you one thing though, I don't remember Grandpa saying anything about a big entrance in the front of it. Buffalo. It's covered with a bunch of weird cards. Infectious duck. Yuck. Gore splattered centaur. Gross. Abominable bear. Horrible. Aberrant chimera. Gross. Horse-sized stalker. Weird. Gore splattered ghost. Oozing ghost. Infectious centaur. Baric mutant. Acidic ghoul. What kind of game is this? This is a gallon-sized glass chemical beaker. The lines on the side prove they went to college. It's a vat of milk that's less threatening than the blood. A giant vat labeled Ichor. Nice. Lemonade. Skeleton-shaped indentation with a buffalo skull-shaped indentation, where the normal human skull-shaped indentation should be. That's a good thing to keep in mind if you end up in possession of the bones necessary to fill in the indentation. You'll look through the bars and see hundreds of buffalo human skeleton hybrids locked in here, 3 to a cell. The keys are hanging right next to the door. You can let them out if you wanted, but they all look pretty angry. I'm gonna fight them. Cursed buffalo soldier. These shelves are filled with hundreds of crates, each full of buffalo and human bones, carefully sorted. You don't really have anything specific you'd want to do with human or buffalo bones right now, though. So while you appreciate how organized these guys are, they're not really of any use for you. Alright, I will leave the shelves alone. This is clearly the good toilet. They should really use scented candles in here. You think? A wooden container filled with reading material. Yay! Advanced bean craft. Learn bean wall, the old bean. Wow, that's it. We'll go with the old bean. Unfortunately, you get so good at clearing your mind that you completely lose your memory of where you left the book. Get smarter. This is clearly the bad toilet. Pile of trash next to the bad toilet. Sticky note. With a magic word written on it. For security practice. Alright, what's going on here? A note says abracadabra. That's gotta be important. Bones rule. They certainly do not. This is the kind of hood that minions of the Necromancer might wear. Or you could wear it. I guess now that we've got it. Ichor after blood. Way to go, stud. Why is Doug having so much trouble with this? Blood before Ichor. Start that. Blood before Ichor. Start that soldier's ticket. Ichor after blood. Way to go, stud. No, remember the rhyme. Milk after blood, ritual's a dud. Ichor before blood, bad idea, bud. I'm not your bud. It's milk before blood, ritual's good, Doug. Why can't you get this? Probably because it doesn't rhyme. Milk after Ichor, may as well try to reanimate Wicker. That's too long to remember. No, Doug, that's not it at all. Remember, blood before milk, as obsolete as the word milk. That's kind of a stretch. You've secured access to an unlimited supply of bones in case you need bones for anything. The bones of the buffalo pile are at your disposal. If you need some bones or bits of bones or teeth or anything, this would be a good time to grab some. I'm not stopping if we get a few miles down the road and suddenly you and your brother say you need some bones. You're pretty much set for bones right now. You can always come back if you're running low. Yeah, I want some teeth as well. Did I not get any teeth? A beaker of ruined milk. Why milk? Okay, alright. Blood, beaker. The faucet is fused shut. Aww. Lemonade? Well, I screwed that one up. Alright, petting cemetery. You notice a black spot at the base of the mountains to the east. You feel compelled to go and investigate, which I will eventually. Welcome to Gorman Lancaster's one and only petting cemetery. It's educational and entertaintional, and only 500 meat for a lifetime pass. Oh, A wide variety of guaranteed genuine animal skeletons, and you're free to touch them to your heart's content. Well, with your hands, that is. No writing. Now, feed them? You can try. That's exorbitant. It's a lifetime membership. If you were younger, it'd be worth more. Fair enough. So I have to come back later. I don't have enough cash. Well, no, someone don't want to see him whatever's in that mine. Must be something important, or valuable, or dangerous. Yeah, it could be all three. You aren't one of us. Be gone from this place, interloper. Now you know something bad's going down. Nobody uses the word interloper. Outfoxer. What makes you say that? Well, I don't recognize you. But how could you possibly recognize anyone with the masks and the robes and all? I should be easier for you to recognize because I'm not wearing that stuff. Don't you remember me? No. That's probably just because you've never seen me without the mask on. I guess it makes sense. Okay, come on now. What happened to your mask? I modified it. It made drinking difficult. What happened to your mask? I'll be right back. I got some rocks. Master gave them to me. He wanted me to have them. What's cool about them? They're mine. Don't touch them. I fell down, but the master picked me back up. That's nice. He'll pick us all back up. He'll pick you back up. Dear Jeff, the big guy says to stay out of here. Praise be Roberto. Sincerely, Jeff. Yes, the El Vibrato helmet. Yeah, I'll have to come back later. hell with it. I'll just attack him. Yay, I have a cultist mask. And a stock certificate to 13 shares of Maverick Dynamo Limited, a company based in Boston. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, cultist mask, mysticality. Okay, what are these guys saying? Cultist ignored you. Aww. I was hoping to get some more dialogue, but I guess I'm not gonna. Beam to the face. Hi, why is your mask different? Because I'm the leader of this cell? How can you be down here and not know that? Look, I passed 7 different guys to get here. Obviously, if I weren't meant to be here, that would be impossible. I suppose? So who's this master everybody's talking about? Our great Dark Master Roberto. Are you sure you're supposed to be down here? Sure, it's fine. Attack him. You know what? I was much better just fighting them, so I'm going to go ahead and put my Stetson back on. So that's a power little. Goblin marching down the trail in a soldier's uniform, the pants of which have been seriously pinned up to account for the goblin's stubby little legs. Salutes. Hello! I am soldiering. Yes, I can see that. I didn't think there were any goblins in the military. What's your unit? What? Where are your uniform getting? From Dead Soldier Man's. So I am soldier now. I see you having a medal. Oh, shiny dangle, yes. Not earning shiny dangle properly. Other soldiers angry at seeing. Oh no, you take. Purple brain pin. Awarded to soldiers who were smart enough to go AWOL when the cows came home. Nice. Something familiar about those voices. Oh, I know. What's up? They sound just like my little brother. They're kind of thin and neat and reedy. Come on, let's check it out. Help yourself if you want some candy. A massive pile of candy wrappers and empty snack bags. Not many people would walk around in a cow hat this day and age. Not to imply that they were ever in fashion or anything. Hey, I'm Melvin. What's with the hat? We're doing historical reenactments. You're playing a tabletop war game? Well, okay, sure, but a historical one. Anyway, we only switched to this after we quit doing real reenactments. Why'd you quit? Too much exercise. Also, somebody kept refusing to lie down when you got killed. You missed. What's this game you're playing? Oh, you probably aren't familiar with this type of board game. It's a very specialized form of entertainment. You seem to be using Flintstock 4000 rules, but my brother said didn't even have cows. Oh, well, yeah, we had to mod them in ourselves. Cool, huh? Yeah, I play. Well, the rules are pretty complex. I don't think the others would want to stop to play a teaching game. I already know. My brother used to bug me to play them all the time so he could test the strategies. Then great, yeah, we're short a player on the cow side. Step up to the table and grab some dice. Alrighty. This guy keeps peering intently at the figures in the table and muttering about line of sight. It's a shame nobody in the Red Fox group are watching because, well, someone said something about not getting their D&D fix. This sounds about as good a time as any. Hi, I'm Mike. You seem to be taking this game real serious. Well, of course you gotta play to win, otherwise what's the point? Have fun. Exactly, and winning is how you do that. Having line of sight issues? Yeah, they don't let me have my tape measure on the board when it isn't my turn anymore, so I have to eyeball it. Looks like you get a hit on that front guy. He'd have partial cover though. Heh, I think it means soft cover. Oh, you're playing 4th edition? Well, yeah, 3rd edition was a total kludge. Man, you and my brother were the bitter enemies. The table is covered with little toy soldiers and little toy cows and weird dice. Alright. Early skirmish. Okay, we need to have the Demon Hunter taken out first. So go ahead and cast Elemental. Ow. Yeah, I'm going to come back to this. Favorite kaleidoscope reel. Talk to him. Howdy, I'm Ernie. What's this kinetoscope reel you're talking about? Oh man, you haven't seen the Dixon experimental sound film yet? It's amazing. Well, there's two guys dancing while a third guy plays a violin into a huge cone. You can actually hear the violin. It's so great. Then a fourth guy walks in. What does he do? Nothing. That's when it ends. Sounds pretty avant-garde. How's the game going? Pretty good. We're on a real winning streak. If we'd been in charge of the army when the real war happened, things might have gone differently. Probably the real war was a lot more unbalanced in terms of unit alternates. Good point. This guy's eating chips like they're going out of style. Wait, he's a nerd. Nerds don't care about what's in style. Hey. Hi, I'm Jeff. You like this game? Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm working on some rule mods for naval combat so we can do other older wars. Like the Conquistadors and Vikings and stuff. Conquistadors versus Vikings would be pretty cool. Man, I know, right? How'd you get into this? Well, I have a lot of time to read at my job, and mostly I read a lot of history. So when I saw a flyer for this historical reenactment thing, I thought it sounded interesting. They already quit doing real enactments by the time I joined, but this is pretty good too. And painting the figurines gives me something else to do at work. Okay, what's Beard Guy doing? Mom made Rufus stop drinking when that brand of soda after he didn't sleep for 4 days and started yammering about putting our cat in the box to see if he was alive or not. Hi, I'm Buddy. So how you like this game? Yeah, pretty good. I prefer the science fiction version though. What's that like? It's real interesting. It has vehicles that move without horses and guns that fire more than once before reloading. Oh, that sounds really imba. How'd you get into this? I was in the actual war. Made it out with only a few scars and a limp. Fortunately, on account I spent the whole thing hiding in a cave. When I heard about reenactments, I signed up to find out what I missed. This is probably not a whole lot like what you missed. Yeah, better snacks for one. This guy doesn't seem interested in the game. He's just noodling around his guitar. Not into the game? Nah, I mean, I like games. That's why I hang out with these guys, but I've gotten bored of these strategy board games. I want something different. Well, I like playing the guitar, so I was thinking some kind of guitar game, like where you pretend you're on the band and you have to hit the right chords. That sounds hard if you don't already know how to play guitar. Yeah, I thought of making like a real simplified version of a guitar, but then it wouldn't be much fun for me. I have an idea. Instead of pretending to play in a band, why don't you go join an actual band and play guitar for real? I know a place that's looking for talent. Huh. Put my guitar skills to actual use? That's not a bad idea. Okay, cool. It's the Jewel Saloon in Dirtwater. Tell them I said yeah. Thanks a bunch. I'll head out right now. Alright, what's in the mess hall? Here we go again, kids. The liquid in this platoon is bright yellow. I feel like that's all that needs to be said about it. Look closer. I'll never understand you. Alright, well, you crouch down next to this platoon. From the nauseatingly sweet stench coming out of it, it appears that these nerds haven't been using it as a makeshift urinal, as you may have suspected, but rather they're using bright yellow lemon lime soda flavored chewing tobacco, unless, well, another possibility is that they may have been using it as a urinal, and that they're all extremely diabetic, which, now that I think about it, is a real possibility. In fact, it's probable that both these things are true. Search. Really? You're going to put your hand in the nerd's piss and or spit bucket Just, I'm just gonna dive right in there, huh? Just go to splish splash around in that sticky yellow broth of spit and pee with no restraint whatsoever. I sure am. With a fanfare of sad trombones and a choir of angels retching. Posterity, folks. With this and a choir of angels retching. A sword rises out of the spittoon, held aloft by a wet, bedraggled, and miserable-looking woman's arm. Since you're already kneeling, the arm wastes no time before tapping you on both shoulders with the sword, splashing your clothes with yellow slime and officially declaring you Reese Kane, King of Filth. Congratulations. The sword clatters on the floor as the hand drops it with a shudder and withdraws into spittoon. Black Excalibur. Oh. This is a replica of King Arthur's sword. You know it's a replica because there's no way history would have allowed the original to be this comprehensively covered in tobacco spit. Long live the king! Sad trombones and a choir of angels retching. This pile of trash smells very, very bad. You power through the stench and find a few non-garbage items in the pile. Kurtzfit pants. These pants are very tight to better show off your leg muscles. You know what? I think I'll put them on. I've been wearing spit-soaked pants for a long time. Black Excalibur. The shelf is stuffed full of rule books for the weird game those nerds are playing. Study them. You pore over the rules until you understand them perfectly enough to realize that they're for an entirely different game that these guys are actually playing. Oh well, at least you've learned something useful. Master Cookery, level 3. You have transcended mortal cuisine. As you're about to walk away from the shelf, you notice a book that definitely doesn't belong here. Intermediate Next Mex. Oh. The Battle of Cow Ridge. Why is the cow not doing anything? Will attack whatever is directly in front of them. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Ow. I can do this. Hell missile. Kill the army grunt directly in front of me. Okay. I think I figured it out. Kill the one directly in front of me. Kill the medic. The Battle of Medley. Will attack the enemy with the highest HP. Okay. Okay, I will just attack the army medic. Oh, that's not fair. Smite him. kill the medic first. Alright, next step. Kill the grenadier. Lobbers battle. Okay. This might hurt a little. All right. Ah. I almost had this one won. Yeah, I'm gonna have to quit playing for now. I just don't know how. I just don't know how. Yep, I was right. Fort full of nerds. That's a hell of a chess game they got going on there. Yeah, it's not totally unlike chess, but the war metaphor is a lot less metaphorical. Also, you don't typically need a tape measure for chess. Looks complicated. My brother took a correspondence course in jurisprudence to improve his rules debating technique. Alright, let's head back to the Great Garbanzo's cave and get ourselves some nice things. Bean iron cookware. Some dense bean iron. Ooh, a saucepan. How about a colander? A badge. Alright, what did I make? Okay, there's the bean iron badge, spell damage. Unfortunately, it's not as good as the revolting brooch, which gives me stat boosts. What about the hat? There's definitely a boost of mysticality. But it's not as, it's just not as good as the Stetson. Because at least then I got muscle and moxie. Just never hurts to have a little bit of balance. Oh well, it's nice to have the extra gear. Alright, let's go to the West Pole. These rocks are strange. They don't seem to weigh as much as they should, and they're sort of drawn to each other. You could probably make an interesting cairn out of them. Something powerful, something mystical, something suave. Yeah, let's go with suave. A cheeky gesture. I have a perk, heavy trigger finger. Your trigger finger isn't fast or itchy, but it is very dense. something powerful. An impregnable tower. Heart of stone. Your circulatory system is partly stone now, which makes your blood even more thicker than water than regular blood. Okay, here's the question I have. Here's a question that I have. Do I still have the trigger finger? Yes, I do. So I can knock this thing over again and get the other perk. Something mystical. An elaborate orrery. You can hear stones singing in your head all the time. It's actually kind of annoying. Nothing special about it, apart from the fact that it isn't in a pile with the other rocks. Whisper something to it. Who? Nothing happens. It's way heavier than it looks. You can't budge it at all. Yeah, I heard about the West Pole. Don't know what caused it. Magnets or something? I think I can taste the fillings in my teeth. Time to go to the soup stock load. I also got a caged canary. It's hard to be scared of anything with this little guy always chirping a cheerful tune. A pool of boiling soup. You see 3 different sized bolts on the side of the elevator, which are all very loose. There's a sign that says 3,200 pounds pressure required and some sort of gauge which currently reads 0, whatever that means. pile of tailings smells a lot like onions. I'll have to come back to that. Sitting in the shade of a rocky ridge, looks like some poor traveler must succumb to the heat. As you move closer, the skeleton is holding a book. As you get close enough, you see it's a copy of the Longfellow translation of Dante's Divine Comedy. You notice that the skeleton is in fact reading it, turning the pages and making little notes in the margins with a pencil. Excuse me, here's my light. Talking skeleton. Sorry, took me by surprise. Divine Comedy, it's about heaven and hell and so on, right? Mm-hmm. Is it accurate? I'm making corrections. You know, most skeletons I meet just sort of hiss and attack me. Because you won't leave them alone when they're reading? I assumed it was more because of them being rabid, mindless automatons. You might find how rabid I can be if you don't stop bugging me. Get back on your horse and leave the skeleton to his reading. He seems grateful. Reboot Hill. Don't worry, it's just paint. Alright. Is there supposed to be something here? Oh. That would explain it. You see the ghost of an elderly woman holding flowers. She seems lost and depressed, above and beyond what's expected for a ghost. Howdy, ma'am. Is there something I can help you with? Oh, it's so awful. I can't remember. I can't remember at all. Let's start the beginning. Well, you see, I had 4 daughters. They married 4 brothers, the Smith boys, and after that, they each had $5 of their own. Unfortunately, I've outlived every one of the 24 of them. You know you're a ghost, right? Oh yeah, in fact, I died here in this graveyard, where they're all buried. I came to visit them, and I suppose my poor old heart finally gave out. That's not the problem, though. 95 years is a pretty good run, after all. So, what did you forget? I brought this bouquet of flowers to put on my favorite granddaughter's grave, but I can't remember which one of them was my favorite. I'm so ashamed that I can't bear to leave until I remembered. I see. Well, maybe I can help you figure it out. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that ever so much. Can you remember anything about your granddaughter? I'm quite certain her first name ended in a vowel. Okay, anything else? I remember I was 40 when she was born. Oh no, 37. Or was it 42? Must have been somewhere in that range at least. Anything else? Oh, her first name was longer than her last, just like mine. I remember she wasn't buried next to any of my daughters. She passed at the same age as poor Becky, who was always in such ill health. Oh, her favorite hobby was knitting. She gave me a lovely sweater for Crimbo just a year before she died. That's all I can remember. I'll be back in a minute. Don't worry, dearie, I'll be here. Oh dear. That's a lot of grays. Ended in a vowel, and her first name was bigger than her last name. Madeline? No, she wasn't buried next to any of her daughters. Billy Spider McKinley. Turned out to be way more than one. Wise old Jed Mamote. This time the bar ate him. The ground here seems reasonably soft. Alright, let's dig him up. Mammoth skin cap. His hat's original owner was a crack shot, but he lost his gun in a card game and got eaten by a bear almost immediately afterwards. Peggy Immortal. Kind of ironic. Biff Bunkerson. He's a real butt face. Big Bob Hurlingham. Gone to the big pie-eating contest in the sky. Tripe pipe. Tripe pie. Pie crust filled with intestine. Just goes to show, one man's nightmare of garbage is another man's dinner. Snidely Crandallsworth. Sort of like a Benjamin Button kind of thing. Annette Centebaum. Tried to eat her way out of a bear. Clean Willie hates. Willie's gonna hate this burial thing. Buck Jeansley. Nobody ever saw a man die that way before. Oh my. Looks like there's a whole gang buried here. Here lie the sweet gang. May they never wake up. Ooh, sweet sword. The sword used to adorn the grave of the sweet gang. Now it adorns the faces of your enemies. Briefly. First name ended in a vowel. You uncover a coffin that was apparently delivered by mail because it still has the address printed on it. Either that or this was a joke about somebody going to Hellstrom Ranch after they died. Okay, so it's not little Becky Smith. Because both Lilith and Faith died at 59. There's another Becky here somewhere. Penultimate Becky Smith. 64. Well, okay, 59 might be Leslie. And there's also 1888, which has Mezzo Becky. Although I think I have an idea as to what the answer might be. I think I know who she was. Did her name start with an M? Melissa? So it wasn't Melissa. Nuts. Alright. Next clue, Leslie. Oh, nuts. Well, it was worth a shot. Fuck. Dink Scotch Turkinson. Drowned in a whiskey barrel. It's what he would have wanted. The ground here seems reasonably soft. Ooh, decent whiskey. Old Dead Tom. Took us a long time to get around to this. Fred Deeks. Couldn't remember the rhyme about which snakes are poisonous. Patient and medic. cures poisoning by making you vomit, but luckily, medical science has confirmed that vomiting is the cure to basically every type of poison. Died as he lived, screaming. First lady bicyclist to ride off a cliff. The ground here seems ridiculous. Riding boots. These boots are made for riding, but not the kind of riding you're probably thinking of. Aww. The inventor of the external combustion engine. It's the remains of a picnic. Jelly escargot. This is a can of garden variety garden snails. Preserved and suspended in gelatinous ooze. Yum. Instant grits. If you got enough grit, you don't even need to add water. And a Gothic cameo. It's an ornately carved brooch with a jet black gem in the center, which, come to think of it, might be jet black as it's in fact a jet. Honestly, I can't argue with that. Vernon Pensacord. Professional Swartz all over. Dynamite Gym Fresca. All the bits we could find. Inside here, there's a document and a weird metal object. Describes a tontine, the burial wishes of Chet Buster Sly, and a weird sequence of letters. BTLITR. Inside is a document and a weird metal object. Tontine burial wishes of Philip Iron Gloat and a weird sequence of letters. And I'm going to have to come back later anyway, just so I can get the last piece of that key. Plot number 3. Ran for mayor, right off a cliff. That one guy. You know the one. Yeah, him. Tried to eat a live eagle on a dare. My name is Bernard, but lower your voice. They'll hear us. Who, the cultists? Yes! Not a fan. They're reanimating dead people's skeletons. I don't want to be reanimated. It sounds horrible. Can you imagine having to walk around without your skin on? How embarrassing. Not to mention cold. Sure, well, plus, I mean, dying's hard enough. Who wants to come back to life just when you got used to being dead, right? I could see that. Please, can you do something? I don't want them to find me. I'll let you know when it's safe. Great, thanks. I'll just hang back here till the coast is clear. Okay. Paulette Tewksbury died of a disease we don't have a name for yet. Yay, skull chips. You have called it exploding skull syndrome. Territorial scoffing champion. Crush them, dispel them, shoot them. Those bones attached to nothing are no match for the new ones, for the ones attached to your muscles. Buried with a treasure collection of dog ears. This is what the skeleton wrote. Must be its name? Grudge. Nice lady, but a really unfortunate name. Blackersley? I took care of them. That's a load off my mind, let me tell you. Here, you can have this worry stone. I don't need it now. This rock has had a hole rubbed in it by incessant worrying. Fidgeting with it will stop you from looking so anxious all the time. Well, I have an idea now as to what that woman's what that woman's daughter's name is. Unfortunately, I could not do shit about it. Horse skeleton. See the tattered remains of a pair of Pony Express saddlebags on the skeletal flanks. The starboard bag is empty, but the port one contains a skeletal human hand with a ring on it. You conclude that either the horse's rider died with his hand in the saddlebag, or somebody was really sad that the skeleton hand they ordered never showed up, even though they paid extra to have it sent Pony Express. Either way, free ring. Ring of getting places faster. Anything useful at the trading post? Nope. Nada.